Hi, everyone. Welcome to Stoner Detectives. I was not planning to go live today, but however, I am here to discuss the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case. There has been an update to this case, and I want to review that article with you guys. It's a CNN article. So let's do it. I'm going to share my screen here. Share. Okay. Let's make this bigger. Let's enlarge it. Okay. Let me make sure you guys can see this before we start. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So let's read this article. Actually, let me just remove myself from the stage. All right, here we go. How do I do this? I can't remove myself from the stage, obviously, because then you won't hear me. So let me do this. This is the way. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So this article was published yesterday by CNN. CNN investigation. Missing teenager repeatedly appeared in David's orbit before her body was found. 18 girl was found dead in a car owned by David. CNN went to her hometown to investigate the mysterious link between her and rising music star. Next. Okay, so in LA, in the summer of 2024, a budding musical sensation known to his legion of mostly young fans as D4VD posted on social media that he was experiencing a case of writer's block. This was summer of 2022. That interview has to be out there somewhere. So we are going to look for that interview. Let me make a list. Okay. So, because it appears that CNN did their own timeline on this case, and I just want to make note of it. That way we can go back and look at those videos that are being mentioned here and make our own assessment, right? All right. So, in the summer of 2024, it was said that David was experiencing writer's block. Okay. Let's continue. I'm in a song crisis right now, he says. He was then 19. And this is on Discord. Drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the anonymous user wrote, referring to a 13-year-old runaway whose face was plastered on missing person posters at the time. So someone on his Discord actually commented, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Could you imagine? So I'm putting this on my timeline. I'm writing this down that on Discord, there was mention of Celeste. I mean, these are important details. Okay. The message went unaddressed by the singer, whose full name is David Anthony Burke. And from here on out, I will be calling him David because that D4VD is so ridiculous. Okay, so David it is. But The cryptic, seemingly taunting post has since emerged as an intriguing nugget in connection with a grand jury investigation in which prosecutors have deemed Burke a target. Again, we are reading those documents. It clearly suggests that David Burke is absolutely the target of this investigation. That's because about a year after the post mentioning Rivas, about a year after this post, her dismembered and decomposed body was discovered in the trunk of David's Tesla, which had been abandoned not far from the rented multi-million-dollar home where he was living in the glitzy Hollywood Hills overlooking LA. The car was eventually transferred to a tow yard where an employee called the police after noticing a foul smell emanating from the vehicle. So, following the grisly discovery in September, which was a month after that comment on Discord. So, we're following a timeline here. So, following the grisly discovery in September, Burke canceled a world tour upon which he had just embarked. He has made no public comment in the months since. And obviously he's been active on social media because he is seen liking posts. He is seen playing video games. So what? It doesn't really matter that a dead girl was found in your trunk. Is that what you're telling me? Because do you really think that you're that untouchable that no one's going to come after you after a dead dismembered body was found in your trunk? Like, honestly, I need to know who is covering up for this guy. So the authorities investigating her death have been tight-lipped as well. We literally have not heard a peep from the Los Angeles Police Department. They have not made a public announcement of their investigation. They have not even made it known that, which I think is quite odd. They have not made it known that this was a targeted attack. Meaning that it's not shouldn't the public be worried? Like, is there a serial killer roaming the streets of LA? You know? Was it a targeted attack? So the judge ordered that the results of Celeste's autopsy remains confidential at the request of the LAPD, Elite Robbery Homicide Division. So according to the medical examiner, it was ordered that the results remain confidential while they're investigating her death. Okay. So interest in this case, meanwhile, has exploded on the internet. The singer was not quite. I disagree in this statement because it has not quite exploded in the manner it should have. I mean, what does it have to take for these larger media companies to cover the case? I mean, I'm thankful CNN is now covering, but we don't see other news stations covering this case at all. So mostly it's YouTube, Reddit, TikTok. We're all over it. So the singer was the #1 searched person on Google worldwide for 2025 based on queries following the discovery of Rivas's body. An army of amateur online sleuths have been parsing Burke's lyrics. Because, I mean, if we don't do it, who else will? If we don't shed light on this case, then who else will? Because, as I mentioned before, I'm not seeing any talks about this demonic music that uh, David was thinking, and it's just odd. It's odd. Not only for his family was okay with this. I mean, they were obviously present at his concert and totally fine with him, talking about murder and death in his music. Yeah, so an army of amateurs, online sleuths. Amateur is not what I would call it. I would say more pros, major league level, not amateurs. And then it says here that they've been parsing his lyrics, his interviews, and his social media posts for clues, and the case has and the case has resulted in headlines and publications from LA Times to the New York Post. And a CNN investigation based on extensive review of social media postings, both by and about Burke, as well as more than a dozen interviews, found that Rivas repeatedly appeared in Burke's orbit before and after she was reported missing for the first time in February of 2024. She was just 13 years old when she appeared alongside Burke in a live stream video shot in the wee hours of the morning from inside a West Hollywood home linked to the entertainer. You know what's funny about this is that people on Reddit actually uncovered this other home that David had in West Hollywood. Like, this was literally uncovered by quote unquote amateur sleuths. She was photographed backstage at one of his concerts a few months later and appeared in images on the memory card of a camera left behind the Hollywood home. CNN also used geolocation to verify Burke's unexplained presence a few blocks from Rivas's home, more than an hour's drive from where he lived in Hollywood around the time the girl was reported missing. Citing the ongoing grand jury probe, Burke's attorney, Blair Burke, declined comments on any aspect of the case, including what relationship, if any, her client had with Rivas. I mean, I get that you lawyered up and everything. Like, for all intents and purposes, this is you are innocent until proven guilty by court of law. And I mean, I am for the justice system. I am for that I'm for justice. So I am for the truth. So where was I? Okay, so my point is that Blair Burke, his attorney, may have told him not to respond to any questions. So it's totally understandable. He lawyered up. You're not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to make any statements that may incriminate you even further. So that's understandable. The singer and the runaway. I can't believe CNN is making it some kind of a drama. This is not a telenovela, okay? This is not the singer and the runaway. This is real life. These are actual people. So please, CNN, don't make this into a telenovela, okay? Before one of his music videos went viral and made him an online phenomenon, Burke was a homeschooled teenager living in a devotedly religious household outside of Houston. He was a gaming enthusiast and a lover of music. A blend of those two passions led to him making music to accompany videos he posted of himself gaming, and in 2022, his debut single, Romantic Homicide, went viral on TikTok. A blend of those two passions led to him making music to accompany videos he posted of himself gaming, and in 2022, his debut single, Romantic Homicide, went viral on TikTok. As his career took off, he moved to LA, where his management company rented a lavish house in the Hollywood Hills for $20,000 a month. He was living the fast-paced life of a celebrity when Rivas somehow ended up in his orbit. Lake Elsinore, California, Rivas's hometown, is about a 90-minute drive from LA, but the working-class city feels a world away. It's so poetic. Whoever wrote this, like, stop the dramatic. It's like sensationalizing it. Like, no, this is it. Take it for what it is. Don't sensationalize it. Rivas was reported missing from her neighborhood in early 2024. Posters of her face were plastered around town and shared on social media at that time. Ellie Nadaf, a corner store owner in Rivas's neighborhood, told CNN he would often see Rivas come in with her friends after school for snacks. He remembered her as a polite, respectful kid among the sometimes rowdy ones who would frequent his store. Always nice, he said. Hints about the girl's connection to Burke began to surface even before she was reported missing. In January of 2024, Rivas appeared side by side. I said this already. A few months later, after having been reported missing again, Rivas was photographed backstage during a sold-out show at the Fonda Theater, which I kind of posted that in my other video. And this is where there's literal evidence that David Burke's family knew of Celeste in this concert. Like, clearly, I'm sure in my opinion, I feel as though I'm sure they've done things together, not in public, that we don't have proof of, that we don't have evidence of. And this is the whole point of the grand jury subpoena. They're wanting to get more information from David's family. Okay. So let's continue. Then in August came the message on Discord asking Burke when he was going to drop the song about the missing girl. Is how we started this article. Another piece of the puzzle linking Burke to Rivas was found in Burke's rented home after Rivas's body was identified in September of 2025, and the case began making national headlines. So his car was eventually linked in September of 2025, and here we are. Okay, so Steve Fisher, thankful. If we don't have Steve Fisher looking into this case, then I don't know. Steve Fisher has given us a lot of information that is helpful in understanding what may have happened to Celeste, right? So thankful for him. He was hired by the owner of the property. The owner said he uncovered a digital camera inside the house with photos of both Rivas and Burke taken in late December of 2024. So again, here's another timeline, is that there's a digital photo that Celeste was alive in December of 2024. Okay. This is after what? This is shortly after David was going through a writer's block. Remember, summer 2024, David's going through a writer's block. Late December, there's photos of Celeste with David. Okay. Oh, and early January. So this late December and early January. So anywhere after this time that's what like everyone is trying to figure out, right? When did Celeste pass? And that's why the timeline is important, because there's no mention of her or of any digital footprints of Celeste after January of 2025. During that time, the entertainer posted other photos from the camera's memory card to his X account, captioned, "Took these pics." Wait, let me read that again. So during that time, the entertainer, David, posted other photos from this same camera, from the same camera's memory card to X. He posted other photos and he captioned it, took these pics, along with a selfie of him wearing a camera of the same model. Okay, so this is important because on here, David's really telling on himself. He posted on X that he took the photos, so you can't deny that you can't later deny that you didn't take the photos because you're posting on social media that you took them. All right, next. I can't with this kid. He is too much. So after Rivas's body was discovered and the case was widely publicized, her brother told NBCLA that the family was aware that she knew Burke and that she was on her way to see a movie with the singer when she disappeared. Wow. So the family has not spoken out about Celeste. For what reason, we don't know. We can speculate, but what's the point of speculating? We could be way off. A lot of people are speculating that the family was paid off by David to keep quiet. But if that's the case, that doesn't make sense because the brother's outing him here. The brother told NBCLA that they knew about David and that the brother's basically saying that before she disappeared, she was with David. This is what the brother is saying here. They may have lawyered up and they may have been told not to speak. But you know what? The rumors about the family being paid off is unnecessary. And it's quite disgusting. I'm sure they're mourning. They feel terrible about what happened. I'm sure they're not only regretting it, I'm sure they feel some guilt or a lot of guilt. I'm not sure. It's my opinion. But what I'm saying is for people to assume without any clear evidence, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. And that's how this case began. That's how this case began, throwing Celeste and her family under the bus. Because what? Because they're Hispanics and because they're poor compared to David and his family and his wealth? Is this what this is about? Because it's fucking ridiculous. And I'm all for justice. So I'm here spreading the word. The family has since stopped speaking publicly. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. People are like on social media. The family should be charged. Trying to put focus on the family being charged for negligence. That's understandable. Absolutely understandable. But perhaps you never had a teenager who ran away. Perhaps you don't know the situations. You don't know what Celeste was going through. So it's really ridiculous. I might add, when I hear stuff like that, especially like from podcasters that I sort of respect in a sense, hearing them say things like that is like kind of like eye rolling to me. Yeah, so they since stopped speaking publicly about the case and did not respond to requests from CNN to be interviewed for this article. They're even like, you know how like some families get paid by media outlets for their stories. How can you in one vein say the family was paid and also in another vein say, hey, you know, we want them to speak, but they're not trying to, they don't want to be in the public light is what I'm getting. They're not wanting to be in the public light. And we just have to respect how they can grieve how they want to grieve. People grieve differently. Anyway, rant over. An evil version of me. Some of the intrigue surrounding Burke and his ties to Rivas comes from the singer himself. Though Burke comes across in interviews as a soft-spoken artist with a gentle demeanor, I don't see nothing gentle about him. He has acknowledged having a darker alter ego he refers to as IT4MI. Is this sick or is this sick? Which he said was inspired by the Japanese word for pain. A part of that manga was an evil version of me. Manga is like what is those what's the One Piece, what is that, like Asian cartoons, what do you call that? You know what I'm talking about. That's what manga is. It's like a comic, it's like comic, kind of like comic books, like Asian comic books basically. A part of that manga was an evil version to me, he said in May, in the music YouTube channel Mahogany. All right, so let's write that down. So in May of, I'm assuming 2025, he's on a YouTube of called Mahogany. We're going to pull that up. And he says that about the evil version of himself. Okay, next. And he would commit the crimes that I would have. Okay, now when I heard this, we're definitely pulling up this interview. Hopefully it's on YouTube. He says, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as a detective. I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself. The song that went viral in 2022 and essentially launched his stardom was entitled Romantic Homicide. Among the lyrics was the line, in the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it. The music video contains violent imagery of a young, dark-haired woman's dead body and bloody knives. In a later music video for the song One More Dance, Burke's alter ego drags his own body into the trunk of a car. You can't make this up. You literally can't make this up. He is writing about it, singing about it, creating videos about it, to eventually making it a reality. And he did it. Allegedly, in my opinion, allegedly. Following the discovery of Rivas's body in the trunk of Burke's car, some fans began to connect to the bloody aesthetic of his fantasy alter ego, which can be common in the that's the word I was looking for, anime. Anime, exactly. Anime, manga is kind of the same thing, genre. To the real life circumstances. While authorities have kept quiet for months about the investigation, recent developments have signaled some movement in the probe. In January, a young associate of Burke's who spent time with him at the house in the Hollywood Hills and was often photographed with him at events, was arrested at his mother's house in Helena, Montana. This is Neo the Asian. Lieutenant Adam Shanks with the Helena Police Department said detectives from LA had a material witness warrant for the young man. They came up here and scooped him up, Shanks told CNN. He was then transported to LA, where he was booked into jail and released a day later on a $60,000 bond. Then last month, court documents in Texas became public, which is what we're reading now. Because again, LA is not giving us information, so we're getting it from Texas, right? And this revealed a dispute over whether Burke's family members could be forced to appear before the grand jury in Los Angeles. The filings also revealed a gruesome new detail about the case and provided some clarity about Burke's status in the eyes of prosecutors. The detail was that Rivas's body was not only badly decomposed when it was found, it had been dismembered and separated into 2 bags. before being placed in the trunk of the Tesla. The clarity came in prosecutors describing Burke as a target of the investigation titled The People of the State of California versus David Burke. That's what the document read. They came up here and scooped. I read that. Next. Oh, that was it. Was that it? This last two paragraphs. The documents did not specify what role authorities suspect Burke. The documents did not specify what role authorities suspect Burke may have played in the girl's death, only that he was a target of the probe. It is alleged in this case that the target may be involved in the death of a 14-year-old victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, prosecutors wrote. And that's the end of that. There's actually an interview on CNN where they interview Steve Fisher, but you got to pay for it, and ain't nobody got time for that. I'm going to wait until it's actually, let me see. It might be on here. Let me do a quick search. Okay. I look a hot mess today, but who cares? This isn't a popularity contest. This is about justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez and to spread her story, her name. This is why we do this, you know. So I'm going on YouTube and we're going to try and let's see. Someone may have posted it. No, it's not posted. There's a paywall, so you gotta pay for it, and it's not cheap either. Let me see. Forget it. See? Like, it's a Hollywood mystery. A 14-year-old girl named Celeste was found dismembered in a Tesla owned by rising music artist David. CNN investigates the months-long connection between the two. I'm really happy that they're doing this. I'm quite, like, I love this, but they're making us pay for it. It's so stupid. No, if you really want us to watch this, make it free for everyone. Don't do this. All right, so we're moving on. Let's go on YouTube and find that interview that was done on May of 2025. The YouTube channel is called Mahogany, it says. I think I found it. Oh, yeah. We got this. We got this. Okay, let me share my screen.
If you're a native or fluent English-speaking Western expat living abroad and you're looking for a new online career that enables you to earn remote.
And then I get a text from my coworkers and all that from the shift, and they get fired too. I'm like, yo, they really doing a mass firing over $14 worth of sandwiches, bro. What's up, everybody? It's David here, and this is The Breakdown. It's Mahogany. This is my first YouTube post. Runaway. Don't run away from me. Yeah. Please don't run away from me. Yeah, man.
He can't sing. Can I just say that I can sing better than him? He can't even sing. This kid has no talent. What are we doing here?
This is Runaway. It's the first song I ever made in my life. Pretty weird song. Looking back at it now, it's kind of like an abstract, really abstract kind of piece of music. I don't even know if I would call it music. It's just like a sound. Like where I was when I made it in my little sister's closet as my studio. I remember the first time I went in there, I kind of like scoped it around. I was looking at different areas in my house for this new like hobby of mine that my mom told me to do. Basically, background on that, I was a Fortnite YouTuber for a really long time. Since the game came out in 2017, I really wanted to be a content creator and a streamer and kind of YouTuber, all that kind of stuff. I was making montages on YouTube of like my gameplay, putting music behind it, trying to be like the best Fortnite player. And then my videos got copyright striked, so I couldn't make money off of it. And I was like, yo, I don't know what to do. I go to my mom, I'm crying. I'm like, yo, mom, I'm not making money no more. I don't know what to do. Da, 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 da. She's like, how about you make your own song? So I'm like, all right, bet, let me do that. So I looked up how to make music on iPhone. This app called BandLab comes up. And then I'm like, all right, bet. So now I got to find a place to use this as my studio. So I go to the kitchen at first, too much echo. I go to my room at first, too much echo. Like there's just like not a place I could find to make music. And my closet isn't a walk-in closet. My closet is like just like one-dimensional almost. It's just like room for hangers and nothing else. So I'll go to my little sister's room. And of course, she got the biggest room in the house because she's the favorite kid. So I'm like, all right, bet. Let me use her closet because it's a walk-in closet. And I put up all these clothes. I put up like robes and like things like that to kind of insulate the sound. And I spoke into the mic for the first time. I was like, oh, okay, this is the studio. So I go on YouTube and I'm like, I need something to kind of practice. This is a song. I never had an intention to put this in a Fortnite montage, or I never did put it in a Fortnite montage, but I was like, I need something to practice on, and I don't know how to sing. So what do I do?
Like,
Essentially,
dude,
I got a beat off YouTube.
I do not know how to sing. He is aware that he has no talent. What are we doing here?
I looked up Billie Eilish type beats because I was like heavy into Billie Eilish at the time. Still am, but like I was really, really heavy into Billie Eilish at the time. And then I looked at Billie Eilish type beats. This piano ballad thing comes up. I'm like, I bet I'm using this. I import it in the BandLab. I get the Apple headphones in. I'm like, all right, bet, let's see how to do this. So I didn't look up no tutorials. I didn't know how to make music. Da, 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 da. I was just like, I'm winging it. So I learned how to use plugins. I learned how to use reverb. I learned how to use EQ. I learned how to use compressors. All in that very night. I stayed in that closet maybe 6 hours that day, bro. It was a long day. And I was just in there cooked because like there's no AC unit in that closet. I was just sitting there sweating my balls off, bro. So basically, I'm thinking about lyrics. I'm thinking about the most basic thing I could say at the moment. And all I could think of was just saying run away a million different times. And then at the end of the day, end of the recording session, I'm like, I kind of hate it. So I tried to figure out ways to kind of modulate my voice and make it sound real different and like, try to, just like mess it up. So I went in this app called DJ, which I used to kind of pitch up and pitch down my voice and kind of, mess with different frequencies and stuff. And I pitched it down like 2.5 semitones, and that's why it sounds so slowed and reverb. And I was addicted to like slowed and reverb versions of songs back then. So I was like, oh yeah, this is heat. This is the one right here. Instantly, I put it up on SoundCloud. I didn't even have a name on SoundCloud. I think my name on SoundCloud back then was like Huey B or some crazy thing, bro. Because I had a weird obsession with like the Boondocks, and I named myself Huey from the Boondocks on SoundCloud. I just put it up there randomly, and it got like 2 plays, and I was like, okay, bet nobody knows about it. And I kept working at the craft. I kept working on it. And then fast forward like a month, I was making maybe like 15-second snippets. So I made one a day. I would enter the closet and just like work on my craft once a day for like an hour and make these 15-second sound bites. And then I would kind of make my transition into doing full songs. And I started.
My work is easy because I use
Ad alert.
Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to.
You know, experimenting with different sounds, and I was like, okay, what works for a Fortnite montage? And I kind of moved to like the indie rock kind of sonic identity because I was into like the Neighborhood and Wallows and Claro and bedroom pop rock, soft alt stuff like that. And I stumbled upon this beat on YouTube, which was the beat for Runaway, and that was the second song I ever dropped. And I don't even know, I can't. That day is a blur because that song was such a staple for like my.
That day is a blur. You know who said that in another case I'm reviewing, who I also feel is a bit psychotic? Dylan Mortensen, Idaho 4. She doesn't know what's real or not. She felt like the day was a blur. Literally. Psychotic.
My fans, like the OG fans, like that's their favorite song. Like I played it at the shows, bro. The whole crowd goes insane. And like I'm looking back at it now too, like the lyrics in that song are crazy for like the second fully fledged song that I really ever worked on after, you know, only playing Fortnite and doing poetry as my only hobbies. But I guess that's like the poetry and me, you know, being able to kind of express itself in a different media form for the first time. But then I released You and I, put that in a Fortnite montage. And then it kind of just went crazy in the Fortnite community. I remember going on Twitter one day and I'm being like, I just posted a YouTube link. That's it. And it was like, yo, you can use my song royalty free. Everybody can make money. And then went stupid because nobody had to like get it whitelisted or go through labels to kind of get their video cleared and stuff like that. It was literally just a royalty free song made by a Fortnite kid that everybody was like, okay, bet we're using it now. So yeah, all of my friends started using it in their videos, and then they caught on to me being an artist, and then the plays on SoundCloud started going up, and then yeah, the rest is like basically history. After that, I was really consistent with it. I started making a montage a week, and I was making a song a week after that for the montages. So every time I make a montage, I watch the montage, make a song for it, make a montage, make a song for it. I was basically like scoring my own videos. And it was a super, super introspective process too. I was like learning more about the music making process at the same time. I learned how to get better at the game too. And I remember I would sit down and try to find things for inspiration because I was just writing these beautiful, beautiful songs. And I was like, my mother was like, where is these lyrics coming from? You're homeschooled. What do you know about love? What do you know about heartbreak? And I was like, you know what I'm saying? I would go on Discord and I would go on Fortnite and I would go on like squad fills and I just let people talk to me and just tell me about their lives. Because like most of these people that play video games the same way I do, they're going to it as an escape. So I was just being an open door and an open outlet for like my peers and my friends to kind of just like vent to me about different things in their like personal lives and stuff like that. And I would basically just take their lives and write songs about them and write songs for them. And they didn't even know it. Like it was just
You have to take things from other people's lives to make songs because you have no imagination. No wonder you had writer's block.
most beautiful thing. And it's such a poetic thing to kind of be able to kind of take somebody's life and put that in a song and then have millions of people resonate with things that aren't even about me. It's about other people. So yeah, that's basically how it all started with this song. And yeah, Runaway is still up to this day. I didn't even take it down. Most artists take down their first songs. They don't want you to hear that, but this one's still up. Yep. This is Romantic Homicide. Discount code that my manager gave me, and she was like, that's the first time I watched the music video all the way through in like maybe like a year and a half. That's nuts. The story behind that one,
Oh shit, listen
this
to
is
this.
Romantic Homicide.
Okay. I'm obviously not going to play the song because I'll get striked. But right after he watches the video, listen to his comments.
This is your brain when you're struggling to
Red
focus.
alert.
And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
No.
Year and a half. That's nuts. Had to let that one play all the way through. That was a fire song. That's actually crazy. That's the first time I watched the music video all the way through in like maybe like a year and a half. That's nuts.
In a year and a half. This was okay. I have to go back to the date when this was posted, but he said a year and a half. If this interview is from May of 2025, right? A year and a half will bring you to January of 2024. Precisely. January of 2024 was the last time he fully watched the video from start to finish, he said. Isn't that a little weird? What do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comments about this. I find it a little odd that he said that he didn't watch the video from start to finish in about a year and a half, but there could be a reason for it, right? Why he was avoiding watching it. Let me know what you guys think.
The story behind that one, this is right off the back of me releasing all the songs for the Fortnite montages. I gained quite a bit of popularity on the internet at this point. I had about...
Notice how he's touching his beard here. Like, this is like a form of... Now, just to be clear, I did not study body language or take any classes, which I'm thinking about doing it, honestly. I want to be more educated on body language and linguistics. So eventually I will take, and not only for me, for you guys too, so that when I'm analyzing this video, I'm more informed and more educated about what I'm talking about. But because I just have I feel like I have that sense. And here, what I wanted to point out in this right here is that seems to be a way of you know, as he's telling the story, he's actually like, fuck, never mind. There's a word for it, but it's not coming to me right now.
500,000 TikTok followers at that point, and like maybe 50,000 on Instagram or something like that. I had just got fired from my job too. I was working at Starbucks for a little bit, and yeah, funny story about that. I was working at Starbucks for a little bit, and I had this discount code that my manager gave me, and she was like, every time you a little short on cash or whatever, you want to take a little $3 off your meal for lunch, just do it. Take this code. It was like 0578. If you still work there, that's the discount code. If you still got it. And she was like, yeah, just use it whenever you want. Like whenever you have lunch, just use the code, no problem. I was like, bet. So I used it for like maybe 3 weeks straight. I used the code maybe like a couple of times. It wasn't even that many times. And I would train people. Like when we had new hires, I would train them too. I'd be like, yo, so the manager was like, if you ever short on cash, just use this code. Like you're totally good. You're an employee. You work here. This employee discount. You got it. And they were like, okay, cool. We all using it. It's like 8 of us using it. And then fast forward to 3 weeks later, manager come in. She's like, yo, the big boss want to talk to you upstairs. I'm like, what did I do? It's like, I don't know, but make sure you have your union representative with you because they're going to try to pull some crazy stuff. I was like, what did I do? Like, what do I need that for? And she was like, just go upstairs real quick. I was like, okay. I didn't call my union rep because I know I didn't do nothing wrong. So I'm like, I'm good off that because I don't need to make an unnecessary scene. I'll go upstairs. Homeboy's sitting at the counter like this, like an evil villain with his jaw clenched up and everything, hands on the table, bro, looking mad serious. I'm like, okay. I sit down in the chair. He like, you know, you've been committing felonies at this store for over 3 weeks. I'm like, felonies? What felonies I commit? I was like, okay, show me the proof, right? He's like, okay. He opens his drawer. He pulls out this gigantic scroll. And there's like 3 dots at the top. Like this, I swear, it's like the dragon scroll from Kung Fu Panda, bro. And there's like 3 lines at the top. And I see a total, it said $14.26. I'm like, what's this? He's like, these are all the sandwiches that you stole from us in the past 3 weeks. I'm like, first of all, I ain't steal no sandwiches. What are you talking about? And then he pulls up his stupid self. Bro, he not stupid, but like he pretty dumb for that, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He pulls up the camera footage. He putting in the code. Every single time I use the code, bro, he pulls up the camera footage and me putting in the code. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong with me putting in the discount code? Don't I work here? And he's like, no, you're not supposed to use that code. I'm like,
what if instead of designing thumbnails, you could just paste your YouTube link into our AI and it would create scroll-stopping thumbnails?
okay, well, the manager said I can use the code. I'm an employee here. I can use the discount code if I want to. What's the problem? He's like, nah, that's a felony. You've been stealing the sandwiches. Nobody told you to use that code. If you don't have authorization for me, myself, you're not supposed to use the code. I'm like, so what happens now? Like, I'll pay you back. It's $14. I mean, just take it out of my paycheck real quick. That's like as easy as that. Tell me not to use it again. Take it out of my next paycheck.
I have a question. How is $14 a felony? What's going on here? Is this just a made-up story? Because how is $14 a felony? Explain this.
We Gucci. He like, nah, I can't let that slide. Literally in his words, I can't let that slide. I'm like, so what you want to do? And he was like, we can either fire you right now and it goes on your record, or you can resign and it doesn't go on your record. I'm like, you better fire me over $14? How much is that in pounds? Like 12 quid? You know what I'm saying? Like, just, bro, it's a multi-million-dollar company. What you talking about $14 for? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna resign right now. I'm gonna call my mom. Mind you, I just got picked up because this is a morning shift. I just got dropped off to work. I called my mom. I'm like, yo, I need you to come pick me up, mom. She's like, boy, what you do? Boy, what happened? She already screaming at me. She already think I'm doing something wrong already. I'm like, no, I'm gonna tell you when you get here. So she come back, she pull up, and she stays there. And you want to talk to them. I'm like, yo, you don't got to talk to nobody. Let's just go home. You don't got to talk to nobody about nothing. Let's just go home. So we just go home. And then I get a text from my coworkers and all that from the shift. And they get fired too. I'm like, yo, they really doing a mass firing over $14 worth of sandwiches, bro? And like, I swear to you, they're understaffed.
This doesn't sound right. I think this is a story. This is a made-up story. It doesn't sound right for Starbucks to fire a whole mess of people for stolen sandwiches. Oh, man.
And they were underpaying us too, bro. Like, I signed up because I was in the middle of doing homeschooling and all this type of stuff, plus the music, plus TikTok, plus Fortnite. And I signed up for part-time hours and they gave me full-time shifts. So I was working 5 to 9, and some days 9 to 5, and then sometimes I close, I do 5 to 10. So it was like the whole situation was just crazy, bro. And I was like, you know what? It's a blessing in disguise because that means I get more time to work on music, which I'm already about to make money on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to make money on music. I really don't need this job right now. I really just focus on Fortnite, focus on music. So I go home, and the next song I make is I think "Take Me to the Sun." "Take Me to the Sun." I made that song. I put that in a montage. It blows up crazy on sound.
So after this situation that he just had, like, I'd call it what? Getting fired from your first job or whatever. Like, it's obviously to adults or people that've been working for years, it's obviously doesn't really mean much, right? But for 2 teenagers or whatever age he was at the time, that might have felt like his whole world was crashing down emotionally and everything like that. And listen to what he just said. He said he went home and instantly made this song. So whatever he was feeling, he turned it into music. And so who's to say that he didn't do the same with Celeste? That's my point here. Who's to say that the tragedy that an actual tragedy that occurred to Celeste. And shortly after, he's going and creating all of this music and releasing his feelings, his thoughts. He put his energy into it. So this is looking like a pattern to me. I'm noticing a pattern.
I'm like, oh, that was a sign for sure. I needed to lose that job. So then I'm working on the craft a little more. I decided to hop on TikTok and do something a little different because I was like, the music thing's kind of being stagnant right now. Let me see if I could, because where I'm from, like in the internet culture, I really like memes and making people laugh real. So like in my Fortnite montages, I throw a little meme in there every once in a while, make people laugh. So I decided to do covers. I decided to do Fortnite like chipmunk covers. So the first cover I did was Beyonce. I think it was Blue Ivy or something like that. Ivy Blue, whatever that song is called. And I pitched up my voice so high that I sounded like a chipmunk. And it went crazy overnight. It got like 1.5 million views overnight. I was like, bet, we doing memes now. So I kept doing that for like maybe a few weeks. I'll even pull it up too, just so I can have some reference. Like I was literally just becoming a meme and getting followers like crazy. Let me go all the way down real quick.
Damn.
Monster
He's really
Math presents
He's really proud of that.
But as you can see, that's just me covering a Kafune song and putting like the Alvin and Chipmunks over it, and it has like 2.5 million views. And I did that for like months straight. And at the time I had maybe 500,000 followers. I was like, okay, bet it's time to do a little switch up. So I had made this song called Here With Me. I was watching the Disney movie Up, and I got really inspired by Carl and Ellie's kind of relationship and their story, and how Ellie dies and Carl has to go to Paradise Falls by himself. I got inspired by that, and I was like, okay, what if I switch up? So
I'm sure everyone's seen Up, that beautiful cartoon DreamWorks movie. He said that what inspired him was the death of the wife. What an odd thing to say, David. Like, the way his brain works is so freaking odd. The amazing DreamWorks cartoon Up. He was inspired instead of the... I just don't know what to say. He was inspired by death. That's what it comes down to.
I had made this song called Here With Me. I was watching the Disney movie Up, and I got really inspired by Carl and Ellie's kind of relationship and their story, and how Ellie dies and Carl has to go to Paradise Falls by himself. I got inspired by that, and I was like, okay, what if I wrote about their relationship, but Ellie stayed alive? And I went to the closet. I was like thinking about Carl and Ellie, and I was like, all right, bet I got to think about a relationship as a really old dude and a really old grandma kind of, relationship. And relationship and their story, and how Ellie dies and Carl has to go to Paradise Falls by himself. I got inspired by that, and I was like, okay, what if I wrote about their relationship, but Ellie stayed alive? And I went to the closet. I was like thinking about Carl and Ellie, and I was like, all right, bet I got to think about a relationship as a really old dude and a really old grandma kind of, relationship. And I made this really beautiful ballad called Here With Me. And I kept it in the vault. I was like, okay, this is really, really good. Like, it's one of my best songs. But I had anxiety and I didn't want to put it out because everything I was putting, I was like really sad and stuff like that. So I went back to the closet.
He said he had anxiety. This was during that song. Okay, what song it is? Okay.
Of relationship and their story, and how Ellie dies and Carl has to go to Paradise Falls by himself. I got inspired by that, and I was like, okay, what if I wrote about their relationship, but Ellie stayed alive. And I went to the closet. I was like thinking about Carl and Ellie, and I was like, all right, bet I got to think about a relationship as a really old dude and a really old grandma kind of, you know what I'm saying, relationship. And I made this really beautiful ballad called Here With Me. And I kept it in the vault. I was like, okay, this is really, really good. Like, this is one of my best songs. But I had anxiety and I didn't want to put it out because everything I was putting, I was like really.
Let me see when that song was released. Now I'm curious. Okay, I just Googled it. It says Here With Me was released in 2022. D4VD revealed that Here With Me was inspired by the movie Up and the love story of Carl and Ellie. He said, Here With Me was inspired by the Disney movie Up, like Carl Fredricksen and Ellie. Oh, Carl, not Carl. Carl Fredricksen and Ellie.
Sad and stuff like that. So I went back to the closet and I tried to get like in a really, really sad vibe mood. I found another beat on YouTube by this dude named Dan Darmawan. Super random. Sound like the instrumental just kind of called to me, kind of just spoke to me. And I went to the closet again, sat down, and I freestyled the entirety of Romantic Homicide in one take. And it was like the first time I really did that. And then after I made that song, I showed it to my mother. And she was like, that song's too violent and too sad. You're not releasing it. My son is not going to be talking about killing people in music. And I was like, I'm going to take.
Yeah. Why'd you let him do it? Why'd you let him do it, Mom? Why'd you let him do it?
That as a challenge, low key, because like every time that she doesn't approve of something like that's art and stuff like that, it usually is a sign that I'm supposed to do it, low key. So
maybe you shouldn't have, David. And also, killing people is not art. Killing people is not art. Murder is not art. You fucking sicko. Allegedly, in my opinion.
I waited a couple days. I was kind of contemplating because like if she ever found a song online and it didn't blow up, I'm getting my butt beat that same day. So I had to make sure that it was going to do well. So I posted it on TikTok, but I promoted it as Alvin and the Chipmunks. That was my whole gimmick. So I pitched up the audio super high, sped it up a lot. And I was like, Alvin and the Chipmunks are releasing original music, ? And I was.
He said that's my whole gimmick. This fucking guy with gimmicks.
The key. It blew up. I posted it Here With Me with the same thing the next day, and they were both doing numbers at the same time. So I was like, okay, bet I gotta release this quick. I throw it up on DistroKid. I wait for the submission to go through. It goes up on all platforms, and then I'm just watching the numbers just.
Fuck, man.
¿Quieres un trabajo gratificante, a distancia y bien pagado? Consíguelo con 1010.
Pop, bro, like 2 songs at the same time, Here With Me and Romantic Homicide, are going absolutely mental. And I'm like, all right, so how do I capitalize on this? Do I tell my mom that I dropped a song? Is she gonna get mad at me? What's gonna happen? Da 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 da. I'll wait a little bit longer. I get the first email from the labels. I show it to them. I'm like, all right, my mom has to hear about this now. I was like, there's no way I can like sweep this under the rug. I'm getting really famous right now. So I show her the email, and then the instantaneous like mother thought is that's a scam. Like, you're not going to LA and meeting any label. Like, what are you doing? I was like, I showed her the numbers though. I was like, yo, the song has 100,000 plays, like 100,000 plays on 2 different songs. She was like, okay, maybe something's happening here. So I get a couple more emails. I'm going on Zoom calls. My parents are getting involved. My mom has like this huge journal called David Music that she's writing down everything that these people are saying on the Zoom calls. And then we finally fly to LA, and then I meet the team, all these teams, and then, you know, we go through the whole rigmarole of meeting with labels and stuff like that. And then I meet with Interscope, who I eventually signed with, and I meet on my team Mogul Vision for management that I signed on management. And then at that point, it was just time to push the button. With the music video, though, this happened in the middle of the signing process. So I was like meeting labels, and I had to kind of figure out how to do creative. At the same time, I'm trying to be business person, David. So I'm trying to be super creative and think of ideas for the song on TikTok and how to make a music video for this whole thing. At the same time, I'm trying to be like real big briefcase, opening the meetings and telling people what I want for my career and stuff like that. And I didn't even know what I wanted for my career. I just wanted to be cool, make music, and play Fortnite, bro. So the music video is happening. It's time to start talking about that. I had been a fan of this channel called Overcast for a really long time. I had watched their music videos. They do a lot of things with like underground artists and upcoming artists. I really had a liking to their videos. And I'm really big into anime, and I'm really big into manga. And I wanted to make my own manga series at one point, and I was writing a lot of poems and writing a lot of things for it. And a big part of that manga was an evil version of me named Itami, which means pain in Japanese. And he wears his blindfold, and he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it. Like it was in the
Cool
vault for like
story,
months and months and
bro.
months. And I introduced it for the first time on screen because I had the opportunity with music to kind of explore this idea further with the Romantic Homicide music video. And people were asking so many questions. I was like,
Yeah, why do you want to actually play a detective, kill someone, then solve your own crime? Like, how is that normal? That's not normal. For someone that really went to church, like, you can't have one foot in the kingdom of God and one foot in the kingdom of Satan. You can't have it both ways. You can't. You can't have one. I think there's an actual scripture that says this. You can't have one foot in the kingdom of God and another foot in the kingdom of the devil. It's just no. Choose this day which king you'll serve. There's a scripture that says that. And he clearly chose the wrong way. The fact that his mother picked up on his lyrics means something. How did she not see this? If she's a, church-going person, her spiritual eyes didn't pick up on this?
yo, this is kind of fire, because like nobody would have ever heard of it if it wasn't for this music video. But Itami was a staple of this music video. You kind of see him throughout the entire thing. He's holding the knife with the bloody thing. You get the girl who's basically like the ghost of the person that he killed. Was his first victim in the manga. And I put that all on screen, and me and Tommy had a great time just like chopping it up and getting to kind of merge creative ideas on the entire thing. And the Bloody Rose aesthetic was birthed in that music video as well, and kind of me representing my entire artistry through this rose,
Murder?
which is like beautiful things can hurt you, with the stems having thorns on them. And that became my entire aesthetic for like the rest of
Yeah,
time. I
murder.
kind of still,
Murder.
even to this day, use that
your
bloody rose
aesthetic?
to kind of show how beautiful things can hurt you, even through music. Like music is very beautiful, but it can also hurt you with the lyrics, or make you think about certain things in your own life that make you think about painful things and stuff like that. So yeah, that music video was the focal point and the start and foundation of.
For someone that's homeschooled, he talks a lot about pain, right? Like, what pain are you going through, dude?
all the different songs and music videos and creative points and the creative direction for like my album now and all that stuff literally came from that one music video in Arizona. So shout out to Tommy Killjoy, because without that music video, none of that would have happened. And Tommy is seen throughout literally almost every one of my music videos. We did anime music videos with Tristan, who is a great animator. He did my rehab music video, and Tommy's just been a great character for my fans too. You see fans pulling up to the show.
He speaks of this Atami like it's an actual person. Like he's talking about someone. This is what I mean about people that are like psychotic. Are you not able to distinguish what's real or not?
And bloody shirts and blindfolds. Literally almost every one of my music videos. We did anime music videos with Tristan, who is a great animator. He did my rehab music video, and Tommy's just been a great character for my fans too. You see fans pulling up to the shows in bloody shirts and blindfolds. So it's becoming a little movement, and I'm glad it's kind of coming to fruition, because I've had that idea for a really long time, and it's kind of beautiful to see it kind of come to life.
Oh yeah, a murder movement. You must be so proud.
So yeah.
Yeah, we'll finish this off later because this shit just pisses me off, honestly. I'm just being quite honest. So we'll finish this another day, and we will also, oh damn, I've been on here for over an hour. We'll finish this interview the other day, and we'll also finish the court documents. Okay, you guys, thank you for joining. Peace out. Have a lovely weekend.